A lot of times, because something is emotionally high, it can feel true. But that's similar to a lot of people mistaking intensity for intimacy. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Drew with Sobriety Daily, and today what we're talking about is when the right action can actually be wrong. It's true, it can actually happen to all of us. You know, sometimes when we're stuck in addiction, and we're kind of in that beginning stages of sobriety, what we don't realize is that through our addiction and over time, we actually trained our minds and our bodies to react to things. So when you know that something is wrong, but you don't really, it's not that you don't care, it's that you don't know how to give yourself that space of time before you react or before you lash out. You're so accustomed to, as the big book says, wanting to be the director that the play doesn't actually go off really well. So I'm going to actually jump into that here. We're going to be looking at page 60 and 61, and here we go. The first requirement is that we be convinced that any life run on self-will can hardly be a success. On that basis, we are almost always in collision with something or somebody. Even though our motives are good, most people try to live by self-propulsion, or what I'm thinking of as self-reaction. Each person is like an actor who wants to run the whole show, is forever trying to arrange the lights, the ballet, the scenery, the rest of the players in his own way. And if his arrangements would just stay put, if only people would do as he wished, the show would be great, and everybody, including himself, would be so pleased, and life would be so wonderful. But what usually happens, right? What usually happens is the play doesn't go off very well. It doesn't really shake out the way that we think it will, and we're kind of left with this, us just getting mad at everybody for not staying the way that they should. When really, as we become sober, what we're actually looking to do is we're actually looking to create some space between an action and a response, right? And then what we do is then we actually learn how to be in control when we need to be. We learn how to surrender when we need to. We learn to know when is our part to take some action and when is our time to actually step aside. So in other words, our actions become value oriented, right? So rather than just being this emotional, trigger, that we're always responding to our emotions. And a lot of times, because something is emotionally high, it can feel true. But that's similar to a lot of people mistaking intensity for intimacy. And you see that a lot with relationships, that because it's all so intense, it feels intimate. Or because our emotions are so hot, it just feels true. How could this emotion be so hot and I be so wrong? Well, a lot of us has felt that way. And so when we're looking at our sobriety, and what we're looking for here is reaction and response. So if we're always reacting to everything around us all of the time, eventually we're going to be wrong. So what we have to learn how to do is wait and then respond to the situation based upon the value system that's kind of been given to us through our sobriety. So as we learn to value other people, as we learn to value our own body, our own self, our own mind, as we learn how to structure those values in a way that aligns with sobriety, with our higher power, with service, with gratitude, with love, with not walking and living a life of resentment, but learning how to get rid of that, learning how to make amends. As those values come into place, we actually begin to have that spiritual awakening. And that spiritual awakening is what actually leads to service. I think a lot of times people assume that a spiritual awakening is for them. Like your spiritual awakening is, you are at the end of that rainbow, right? But really, at the end of the spiritual awakening rainbow is you serving at your largest potential, to the point where you kind of are just there and you've kind of lost even some of yourself in that service. So when is the right action wrong? The right action becomes wrong when it is a reaction. As long as you're responding to a situation, you're probably doing or getting closer to the right thing. But even if your reaction is correct, at the end of the day, you're still training your mind to react. And that's kind of what got us all into the addiction space to begin with. So what we have to do as we get sober is train ourselves to not react. Train ourselves to respond. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a like, give it a comment, give it a whatever, a thumbs up. And yeah, I hope that you have a great day. I hope that your sobriety is rich and full today. And I hope to see you again tomorrow. All right, you take care. Bye now.